Sup lads, welcome back to another video. Now today I'm doing another video where I look at a certain team's lineup and how they could line up for next season. I've looked at Chelsea and Manchester United previously. Now I think a bit of a step down, no offence to Villa fans, to Aston Villa. Now after the signing of Wednesday, I'm actually quite excited to see how they get on next season and who else they sign. They were obviously linked with James Ward-Prowse in the week as well, which talks I don't think that move will be happening now. But to be linked and to be rumoured strongly as well with a player like Ward-Prowse just shows how ambitious Aston Villa are for next season. So I'm going to be going through their squad and their starting lineup for next season, and we're going to be discussing certain positions. I've assessed potential transfer targets that they could be signing this summer as well. So goalkeeper, pretty straightforward. It's going to be Emi Martinez, isn't it? In my opinion, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season or last season or in 2020-21, we'll call it, because well, I say this in every video now, but it's always at this point of the season where is it this season, is it last season we have to talk about. It's a bit confusing, but he was good in the last season that has just played out. And yeah, I just think in my opinion, best goalkeeper in the Premier League, and a bit of a bargain from Arsenal as well. Arsenal look a bit foolish for letting him go down to Aston Villa. I know they did get quite a bit of money for him, but still, great goalkeeper this season. Right back has to be Matty Cash, been very good for Aston Villa this season after they signed him last season. I think it was from Nottingham Forest in the Championship. Definitely been probably one of the best right backs in the league this year, maybe apart from Cancelo and Sofao maybe. Definitely been very excited when he's played. To be honest, if we didn't have so many good right backs in a normal era, he'd probably be making a few squads, to be honest. But of course, with the plethora we have out there at the moment, he hasn't really got a chance, does he? But I think he has to start right back. He's been really good there for Villa this season. And left back, we're going to just do the both fullbacks first. Got to be Matt Targett. Again, after a not great first season at Villa, he turned it round this season, last season in 2020-21. He's turned it round he's done really well this season. Especially at the start of the season, just like Villa as a team, really, when they were right at the top, contending for Europe. But yeah, Matt Targett's a good player down that left-hand side. He's got a good link up with Grealish as well. Obviously, he is no Jack Grealish, but he's good to have down the left-hand side. And a potential first signing to me, a rotation full-back between right and left. I've got a few names written down here. Got Max Aaron's always playing for Norwich. But he'd probably want to start ahead of Cash, so I probably wouldn't go for him. I've got Alfonso Pedraza, who's a left-back that plays for Villarreal, I believe, in Spain. I think he could be a decent signing to cover for Target and rotate with Target on the left-hand side. And I've got also Ryan Sessegnon, who I don't think would be a bad signing, to be honest, because he can play everywhere down the left-hand side. Just had, an all-right loan spell with Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. And obviously he'd probably only come on loan from Spurs, but he could be a decent rotation option to have down that left-hand side. And I think, rotations full-back is maybe a position Villa need to go for this summer. Now we're going to go on to centre-backs. I think Ezri Konsa has to start. I think was unlucky not to get called up into the 33-man provisional squad for England. To be honest, I think he's better than Mings personally, but I would see why Southgate has gone for Mings over Konsa, although Mings was absolutely... he looks very, very dodgy at times when he's playing for England, I will say, but Ezri Konsa has had a very good season this year. One of the many players I discussed in the video on Brentford last week. But yeah, definitely should be in that place. Alongside, I have put in Tyrone Mings because for Villa, he's kind of reliable. But again, he is a bit mistake prone sometimes. But I think Villa centre-back, they don't really need one for the minute, Villa. And to be honest, I have put down a few centre-back names, again, for rotation. Because if they are going to challenge for Europe, like the title says, for next season, or even the top six, I think depth is key, especially around that Christmas period when they have so many games to play. Again, rotation is very key if you need to get Europe. So I've put down a few names here. I've got Maxence Lacroix. I don't know how you say it. French geezer, plays for Wolfsburg, centre-back. Done really well this season as Wolfsburg have qualified for the Champions League. And I think he's only very young. He's only 20, I think, so he's definitely one to watch out for. I think he's been linked with Chelsea as well. So it would be tough for Villa to get him, but I think if he's looking for first team minutes, I think he could definitely get in that squad. Duje Kaleta-Car from Marseille. Is another one I put in there, been linked to West Ham as well, I think. But I think, again, it would be a good rotation option to have. And he's only young, I think 23, 24. one to watch out for Croatia in the Euros as well. And I've gone for Joachim Andersen as well. Again, been linked with a few other Premier League teams like Spurs and Arsenal. Obviously, was on loan at Fulham this season, captained them a lot as well, which is strange for a loan signing. Contracted to Lyon though, and I think Villa, it will be a good signing for him. I think he could definitely fill in for Mings, and give him a good go. Good bit of rotation option. And, rotation can be good for players. We've seen how bringing in Tellez has really, really helped Luke Shaw this season for Manchester United. So maybe bringing another centre-back could be good for Tyrone Mings for Villa. Those three I think would be all good names to have as backup options. I think the most realistic one is probably Joachim Andersen. I think Lacroix, I think if Villa are going to go for him, I think that could be decent. And also Kaleta could be an option. They're all good options, I think. But I think Andersen is the most realistic out of those. Unless he does go to a Spurs or Arsenal. So that is the back four. So we got Martinez in goal, Matty Cash and Matthew Targett as the fullbacks, and Mings / one of the new signings, and Ezri Konsa at the back. Decent back four and a goalkeeper. Now I'm going to go to, obviously it is a 4-2-3-1 Villa play, so centre mid has to be John McGinn. I think he's really underrated for Villa, and I'll be excited how he gets on with Scotland at the Euros this summer. But yeah, I think he's really underrated, and obviously he's not really in the spotlight because obviously the big man Jack Grealish he'll get onto in a minute. But I don't know, I think John McGinn is really underrated. I think he's a good player from midfield, gets Villa to tick sometimes as well. And yeah, he's integral for Scotland as well. And he's a good personality as well, which is what you need for some players. And I think he can play cam as well, but with the new signing, of course, Emi Buendia, who we'll get onto in a minute, I don't think he'll be playing up there. I think he will be playing more centrally, which is fair enough. And for the other centre position, this is actually the only position in the starting 11 that I'm actually going to sign a new player for, I guess. In terms of options, currently at Villa, you got Morgan Sanson, who was a January signing from Marseille. Didn't play much. I think he might have been injured or something like that. But I think he's definitely one to watch out for next season. I think he could be a very promising name. And then obviously Douglas Luiz, but I think he has been a bit inconsistent this season. He's had good spells, but also bad spells as well. So I think maybe you want a bit more solidity in there. And again, rotation is key, especially in midfield areas for Villa. Got down four names, obviously James Ward-Prowse, someone we talked about earlier. I don't think he'll go though. I don't think that is happening. I think Southampton have gone, no, we're not letting you leave for any price, which is fair enough. He's the club captain there, and yeah, they're not going to let him go, are they? So Ward-Prowse, I don't think that is happening. But I've got three other options here. I've got Glenn Kamara from Rangers, playing for Finland at the Euros. So maybe if he has a good Euros, that'll step up his price tag a bit, and maybe Villa could go for him. A bit of an unrealistic one, Rodrigo de Paul. Again, if they can spend big, which you have seen on Buendia, but will they do it again? I'm not sure. And he's a bit more attacking, Rodrigo de Paul, so I don't think they'll bring him in. But just a name to write down. And the one I think I would go for is Yves Bissouma. Again, has been linked with Arsenal, but they stole Buendia from Arsenal, so anything is possible. And I think I would go for Yves Bissouma. He's been absolutely great at Brighton this season. He's a midfield destroyer, and with McGinn alongside him, I think Villa do need a player like him to just stay back. As I said, a bit of a midfield destroyer to break up opposition attacks and just win the ball back, win possession back for Aston Villa. I think he'd be very key if they were to qualify for Europe. And again, I know they've got players like Douglas Luiz and Morgan Sanson, but rotation I think would be good for Villa in that, especially in the midfield area. I go for McGinn and Yves Bissouma as my midfield two. On the wings, Jack Grealish has to be in there. Obviously, he could still go, but I think he might stay for one more summer at least. Been linked to Man City. It'll be hard for him to turn them down if they do come calling, but Villa will want definitely upwards of 100 million for him. And I think he's worth it. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that he is one of the best players in the Premier League. And he does play for a club like Villa. Imagine him playing, definitely could play for Man City. And again, I'm very excited to see how he'll get on at the Euros with England. Club captain as well, and I think maybe he will stay around for one more season. Again, depending, Villa, would they want to sell him? I think they would sell him for upwards of 100 million. But again, will Man City be wanting to pay that much? They don't often really pay too much on one certain player. So, he could go to City, but I think he will stay maybe one or two more seasons at Villa. Definitely has the quality to play for City, though, don't get me wrong. And the other wing, I have gone for Anwar El Ghazi. A good goal-scoring winger, to be fair. I've been impressed with him this season. Can take penalties as well, which can be crucial at points in the season. And yeah, again, a good player, got good goal-scoring instinct. And yeah, I think he is actually quite underrated as well, a bit like John McGinn. But again, I think he can have good games, Emre Ghazi, and he can change a game with a few goals or an assist. I think he can go missing sometimes, but I think he's a good option to have down the right-hand side. Cam, I have gone for the new signing, Emi Buendia, obviously a club record signing from Norwich. And again, it's a bit of a statement signing from Villa, considering he was linked with Arsenal and they outbid Arsenal for him, which is, one, embarrassing for Arsenal, and two, it shows players are wanting to really go to Villa more than Arsenal in a way. Because, I think Villa potentially are a more attractive option than Arsenal right now. And 35 million for a newly promoted player I think he actually got 7 assists despite Norwich finishing bottom of the Premier League when a few seasons ago, 1920. But so I think he could be all right in Villa, and he has had a superb season in the Championship. I think he was voted the best player of the Championship last season. So yeah, he would definitely be good. I just have him at Cam with Grealish on the left and El Ghazi on the right. And up front, I have gone for Ollie Watkins. Talks of maybe a rotation striker coming in, which I'll get onto in a minute. But yeah, he's been really good this season. Got called up to England as well. Not quite the Euro squads, but I think he could have got there ahead of Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. I'd rather probably have him than Calvert-Lewin. And maybe he should have took 3 strikers anyway, but no, I probably would actually have Watkins rather than Calvert-Lewin. I know Calvert-Lewin is kind of a poacher, but Watkins is just, I think he played better than Calvert-Lewin did against Romania. So, yeah, I'd have Watkins definitely up front for Villa. In terms of rotation options, obviously you've got Wesley, who's been injured for the majority of the season with his ACL. I think he could be a decent option off the bench. Tammy Abraham's been linked, but I can't see him and Watkins both playing at Villa unless they go to a front 2, which I can't see that's happening either. But again, I don't think that will happen. And also Josh King's been linked. He's just been released by Everton, and I think that could happen. And he is a decent striker. He can score goals in the Premier League, as we've seen, and he might be a decent option off the bench, or a rotation option with Ollie Watkins around, as I said, that January, December, Christmas period. So yeah, I think Josh King, again, on a free, you can't really go wrong with free transfers at the end of the day, can you? So yeah, I think Josh King would be a decent option to bring in as a backup to Ollie Watkins. And yeah, that is going to be the starting 11 for Aston Villa for the upcoming season. I've got Emi Martinez in goal, Matty Cash at right back, centre backs Ezri Konsa and Tyrone Mings, left back Matty Targett, centre mids John McGinn and Yves Bissouma, right wing Anwar El Ghazi, left wing Jack Grealish, Cam, Emi Buendia and striker Ollie Watkins. Other players I haven't actually mentioned include Bertrand Traore, who definitely could be alright down that wing. Trezeguet as well is another good option down the wing. Jacob Ramsey is a good youngster, potentially one to watch out for next season. Keenan Davis, a good young striker as well, off the bench would be alright. And Marvelous Nakamba as well, another good option in midfield. So yeah, I'm excited to see Villa for next season, and if they keep up the ambitious signings like Emi Buendia, and if they do keep Jack Grealish, I think a European push is definitely on for next season. I think Aston Villa could definitely target a cup success as well. Next year we've seen what happened to Leicester when they targeted that. They only gone and won that, and they did get to the Carabao Cup final I think 2 years ago, but obviously ended up losing to Man City. So yeah, they can definitely do it, and I'll be looking forward to see how Aston Villa get on next season. Yeah, so thank you much, guys. Good video. I did enjoy talking about Aston Villa. As I said, as an outsider, I am looking forward to watching them next season. What do you think will happen to Villa next season? Do you think they can push for Europe with a few more signings like Yves Bissouma? I think adding depth to the team from transfers is very important if they are to challenge for Europe. As I said, with the signings of Cam Anderson, Josh King as well. So yeah, thank you for watching today, guys. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of 2021. England versus Croatia match reaction tomorrow about the Euro, so looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you for watching today, guys, and I'll see you soon.